James J.C. Cooley. Wow, we got an absolutely fantastic show coming your way today. Um, I'm not going to give away too much of it right now until we have all other platforms locked in. But I tell you, we got an amazing, amazing, amazing guest that's going to come and talk about a lot of great things. But I know how Michelle is. She's going to get mad at me if I give it away. So I'm not going to do that. But I'm excited about the show. How you doing, Dr. Michelle Cooley? How you doing?
I am doing great. Had a conversation with our guests before we went live, and wow, she's doing her thing. She's an amazing author. She's had so much experience in marketing, and I'm going to let her tell you a little bit more about that. I'm going to give that away, but we're excited to have her on the show today.
Wow. So whichever platform that you're watching us on, whether you're watching us on the 836 Television, Transfer TV, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and 65 other platforms, welcome to the show. And you want to be part of the show, all you have to do is just pick up the phone, dial 1-888-344-1170 KCB Crew, or go to the comments on whichever platform. Hey, Todd, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm always good, even better when I get to listen to It's Your Life, and it's going to be a great show. I know your guest is going to hit on a bunch of different topics, so I'm real excited for today.
I said, let's lock in all of the platforms at the same time, and let's do it.
All right, we still got another about 15 seconds before we connect.
Absolutely, but it's going to be great. And again, that number will be 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. KCBQ, AM 1170, ASF.
It's Your Life is sponsored by James J.C. Cooley.
Dr. James J.C. Cooley. The James Cooley Show. It's your life.
It's your life. It's your life. I tell you, that's what it's all about. It's your life. Welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. And I tell you, I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley. And we got the executive producer and the co-host, Dr. Michelle Cooley. And we got my great producer back in our California studios. And I tell you, we got a fantastic show. And I want you to be part of this conversation. Michelle's going to tell you what the title is, the purpose is. She's going to introduce this great guest in a minute. But first of all, how are you doing, Michelle?
I'm doing good. It's hot today. Went back in the 90s in Texas. I thought we're gonna start having some really good fall weather, but that's Texas for you.
That's Texas, but you know what? We'll be back home next week. We'll be in San Diego. We'll be back home in studio with my producer, Todd. So I'm looking forward to it. And I'm excited about this show today. And I tell you, Todd, you're going to be excited as well.
Yeah, I'm ready for it.
I tell you what, Michelle, can you please introduce the title of the show, the purpose of the show, and introduce this absolutely fantastic guest?
Yes. Well, the title of today's show is An Audacious Woman. And we're having an in-depth conversation with author, marketing expert Corinne Cavanaugh. And she's going to talk about 5 tips to become an audacious woman, the power of book trailers, the ethics of writing about historical events, and humanizing controversial topics in a fun, lighted way via fiction. So again, Corinne Cavanaugh, she's the author of the new book, An Audacious Woman, and writes contemporary fiction novels for book club readers. She holds a master's degree in international relations from Harvard University and has had a career in marketing. She's on a writing mission to humanize controversial topics in a fun, lighted way. She aims to inspire empathy and understanding of different points of view through women's contemporary fiction. As a result, her first book, An Audacious Woman, is now available. This is book 1 of 3 in the Audacious series. So when I hear that, the Audacious series, I get excited. So please welcome to the show, Miss Corinne Cavanaugh.
Well, thank you. It's such an honor to be here. Anybody who has a walk-on song, that was pretty cool, JC. So thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to this conversation.
Wow, it's an absolute pleasure having you on today. When Michelle brought this to my attention, I said, hey, go ahead and make it happen immediately. So I'm excited about having you on. I'm excited about what you're going to bring to our viewers and our listeners. And just like I was telling the viewers and listeners, let me tell you again, whichever platform that you're watching us on, was you watching us on E360 television, Transfer TV, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, over 68 live platforms. Welcome to the show. If you want to be part of the show, all you got to do is go to the comments, ask any question that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. Or you can pick up the phone. That's right. That's right. You can pick up the phone and dial 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. KCBQ, AM 1170 answer, FM 96.1 in San Diego. Todd will put you through. We're going to have a great time. So, Karin, can you tell our viewers and listeners a little bit more about you, where you grew up, what inspired you to do this series, this book, and what keeps you motivated in what you do?
Where I grew up in a small town north of Seattle. So it was it's sort of a little big town, meaning that our high school had a ton of kids from neighboring small towns. And so, once I kind of got to adult age, I thought, oh my God, I got to get out of there. And so I moved to the big city. I moved to Seattle, and I'm still in the greater Seattle area. And I just love it. I mean, similar to San Diego, it's really wonderful to have a good mix of sunshine and rain and green plants. And it's just a delightful place to live. Yeah. And, the funny thing about this book, An Audacious Woman, is it came to me in a dream. So I really didn't expect to be writing a book. And, I've had a career in marketing, but I thought this one's just too good to pass up, especially the female protagonist. Like, she's just an incredible woman. And I thought I have to write her, even though it's a fictional character. So that's what I did.
Yeah. So what inspired you to become an author and also a digital market expert?
Oh boy. Well, those are two separate questions. So I'll take the earlier one first, which is digital marketing was kind of interesting. My career started in newsprint. So I was doing newspaper advertising a long time ago, back in 2004. And I sort of evolved from that. And I saw that things were moving to the online space. And so I was working with someone. I had a great partner at the time, and I was sort of her right-hand lady. And we were working together, and people kept saying, hey, I need someone like Karin. I wish I had someone like Karin. And so my ears sort of perked up, and I thought, what does that mean? Why do they want me? And normally it was because I was doing all of this social media work. And at that time, social media was quite new, and companies just didn't want to deal with it at all. And so I thought, okay, well, there's a need here. I'm going to start a business. And I love books. So I'll throw in the books that inspired me along the way. Blue Ocean Strategy. I had read that not too far before starting that business. I thought, this is a blue ocean. People need help with social media. I'll do that. So I started a social media firm, and I did that for about 5 years. So that's the digital marketing piece. And then I rolled in it into a nonprofit marketing firm. And, I've done a lot of education and training in marketing over the years too, which I saw, JC, that's a through line of your career too. You learn a bunch, learn how to do it, learn how to be the expert, and then share it with other people. And so I've worked in colleges and have some online training courses out there. So that's been my career, and it's been awesome helping other businesses along the way, helping them grow, figuring out how to use the internet space to do that. And then, I was working in tech when I got this dream for this book. And I thought, okay, well, this is a pretty awesome book, and, tech's great, but I miss doing my own thing. And once you're an entrepreneur, you kind of get that bug. So I decided to go back out on my own, write the book, write the series, and that's what I'm doing now.
Wow. Once you become entrepreneur, or once you know yourself, like I always say in my speeches, know yourself, accept yourself, love yourself before you share yourself.
Yeah.
Once you gather that in, I believe everything that pops in your head that you dream of, you know that you can do it, or you know that you can't do it. I mean, you're going to know one way or the other. So I tell you, before we even get into the book,
Sure.
I always like to throw a wrench in with my guests.
Okay.
If you had to choose only one word, an adjective, to describe who you are, your personality, and why you're so passionate about what you do, what would be that one word and why?
You had to do that. Who am I and my personality? Why would I choose that word? Okay. Disciplined, I think, is probably the word. It's part of my personality since I was a kid. I really want to do the best. I want to be the best. I was kind of that student that really tried very, very hard. Grades didn't come easily for me, so I really worked for those B pluses. But having that discipline in life has really helped. And, coming to the page and writing a novel, fiction novel, any type of book, any piece of writing is really, really hard. And the best way to be a writer is to come every day and write every day. And sometimes you just don't feel like it. And so I would say disciplined is my adjective. I'm sticking with that. Hopefully I'll continue to be disciplined for a long time.
You know what? That is an absolutely wonderful adjective, because you're right. As a writer myself, I have to be disciplined. And even there's times when I have these thoughts and all of this, and then I veer off course from what I'm writing about or where my mindset is at, and I become undisciplined, and I write some stuff down and look at it the next day. I'm like, okay, we got to scrap all of that. I need to stay focused on what I am trying to convey
Yes.
to my potential viewers and readers. So I think that was the absolutely wonderful adjectives that I would have chose about myself.
Oh, good. Well, we have a lot in common, actually. I looked up some of your books, and they're really wonderful. So, kudos to you for sitting down and doing that. And sometimes I tell people with the writing, even if you didn't like what you wrote yesterday, you still got your mind thinking about it. So you sort of got that going, and it really helps you gain momentum. So
it helps you gain momentum. I tell you what, we're going to take a station break. But when we get back, we're going to talk about An Audacious Woman. We're going to dive deep into Karin on her thoughts and why she is writing this. And also, I want to hear a little bit more about the 3-part series. So I tell you, if you want to be part of this conversation, all you have to do is just go to the platform that you're watching us on, comments, asking the question that you might have, or pick up that phone and dial 1-888-344-1170. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
The James Cooley Show. It's your life. That's right.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? And everything that you do.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
The James Cooley Show. It's your life. That's right. James JC Cooley. The James Cooley Show. It's your life.
And enlighten our next generation of leaders and heroes. Get your copy of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James J.C. Cooley, available on Amazon and everywhere books are sold.
It's the James Cooley Show. It's your life.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life next. You know, my viewers out there know that the first segment is always getting a better understanding of the guests. And as you see, this is a tremendous woman right here. But we get ready to dive deeper into this. We're going to talk about her book, how she got started with this. I know she told a little bit about it, but we getting ready to go in detail and find out what was in the mind of the writer. Exactly what she wants to convey to the reader. And where is this, we have vision, understanding, focus. Where we going with this? Where we going with? I believe we're going a long way with this one because I love her trailer. And I can't wait to read the book. And she got 2 more coming. So, but let's talk about the first one first. So, Corinne, let's discuss your first book, An Audacious Woman, and why you decided to write this book.
Yeah, the why is important, isn't it? I thought of the book, like I said, it came to me in a dream, but then I took a pause and I thought, why am I going to do this? I'm not just going to write a book to write a book. I want it to be meaningful. And so I thought about, kind of what's going on, especially in America right now, but kind of in the world. And what I noticed was people are having a hard time talking to each other. People who have different beliefs, people who have different opinions or are on different political sides of the spectrum. And I think that's a skill we lost, and COVID made it even worse. And so I thought, it would be really interesting to bring up controversial topics in this book in a safe setting. Because fiction's super safe, right? It's all make-believe. And people are enjoying a fun fiction read. But if you see the characters and how they're dialoguing, it's super intentional. They're really diverse characters from their points of view and their age and their gender. And you see them come together and sort of talk about things like abortion or crime and punishment, or some of these really kind of normally dicey hot topics that people are shying away from. And I thought, well, let's demonstrate how you can have a polite, civil conversation in the book. And I think it's super important because, people are uninviting, Uncle so-and-so to Thanksgiving. And I think it's outrageous. Don't uninvite your family. Now, they might not remember how to have a cordial conversation at the table, but just politely remind them. Maybe steer the conversation around. Don't uninvite them.
Sound like some of the members of my family. That everybody ain't invited to the table. I mean, we want to invite everybody to the table, but we have to know how to act. I tell you what, I want to show this trailer. I absolutely love this trailer. And then I want to come back and talk about it. Here we go.
Okay. In Manhattan, a Gilded Age mansion stands today because of the tenacity of one woman, Eleanor Beaufort. She's ready to retire and travel the world, but the estate holds her back. Contrary as ever, she hosts a contest to bequeath her home to a complete stranger. Follow along as contestants unearth wild tales from Eleanor's past while revealing their true colors. Is Eleanor sane? Are the contestants safe? Who will win the mansion? Find out in this fun page turner.
Wow. You know what? I tell you, that's one of the best trailers I have ever seen. And now I am curious because I haven't read the book yet, but I can't wait. I'm sure that our viewers and our listeners are locked in on this one, and now they want to understand what the book is about. So my first question to you is, why do you title the book An Audacious Woman?
Because the main character is so remarkable. You know, she is older. She's in her third chapter of life. But she was never just going by the rules. She always was feisty and cheeky and audacious. And so that's why it's named An Audacious Woman. And the book is really about this woman and her influence on people who are competing to win her $70 million Gilded Age mansion. And so the trailer, really, I was really hoping to convey that to people, sort of the glitz and the glamour of this space and how important it is, and also the drama happening between the characters. Well, James, I think that you were right to say that the book is a part of a series, right? So this book, you know, at the end, somebody does win the mansion, and that's what book 2 is about. And book 3 is about this audacious lady sort of taking it on to the third chapter.
Hold on. You talk a lot about this book, but you also talk about 5 tips to becoming an audacious woman. I want our audience to lock in on this. I want you to explain that to them. What are the 5 tips?
Well, wear what you want, first of all. I think that too often, you know, women especially, we think about where we're going, the meeting we're going to. We're dressing for other people and we're not dressing for ourselves. So wear what you want. Listen to advice, but feel free not to take it. Just because it's coming from someone else doesn't mean it's not better than yours. And then think about it kind of like a man would, I would say to women. You know, consider your options like a man would. And let me give you just a short story, if I may, about this. You know, I've got several friends who are around childbearing age, and they're big career leaders. Like, they're really boss ladies in their own right. And I've noticed that these friends will come to me and say, "Oh, I was thinking about," or "My boss is trying to convince me to take this promotion," right? So they're going to do a step up in their career. But then they actually say to themselves, "Oh, but I was thinking of having a baby next year." And I say to them, "Well, your husband doesn't plan to step back from his career because you all are thinking of having a baby next year. So why should you?" So I just want to encourage women to really be audacious in that way. Always always put yourself first, because when you put yourself first, women are the caretakers of the world pretty generally. So when you're putting yourself first, other people will benefit. Your family will benefit. Your spouse will benefit. Everybody around you will benefit because you're going to be in a better mood. So I think that, one last thing I don't want to forget, Buck Convention. There are so many traditions in every culture. And these days, you don't have to abide by those traditions. You can decide to keep them or not keep them or do something a little differently. I think too often we are doing the paint by numbers and it's making us unhappy. And we just need to be audacious enough to say, no, that's not how I want to run my family. That's not what I want to do. And I really encourage folks to do that.
So can you repeat the 5 tips again?
Yes.
Wear
what you want. Listen to your own advice. Buck convention or society. Always put yourself first. And number 5, when in doubt, when you're feeling really, really stressed, care a little bit less.
You know what? I love these 5 tips because when people are consumed with what others think about them, they don't become the person that they are because they are so serious about what other people are going to say or think. And your 5 tips are incredible. And I tell you, we're going to take a station break, but we're going to come back and we're going to talk a whole lot more with this absolutely fantastic guest. And we're going to talk a lot more about An Audacious Woman and potentially the other 2 books that are going to be coming out. And hopefully, just looking at that trailer, I think you might want to start a movie or something.
I love it.
Yeah. So if you want to be part of the conversation, whichever platform that you're watching us on, all you have to do, just go to the comments, ask any question that you might have, or pick up the phone and dial 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. It's your life. And I tell you, we'll see you shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
Craving a slice of Chicago? Craving a slice of Chicago right here in Temecula wine country? Then dive into legendary Chicago deep dish style pizza at Rosati's Pizza Pub. Piled high with gooey cheese, rich tomato sauce, and your favorite toppings, Rosati's delivers the taste of the Windy City right to your table or front door. Enjoy the cozy pub atmosphere and an impressive selection of Temecula wines. Come on down to Rosati's Pizza Pub for your slice of Chicago right here on Rancho California Road, or order online at myrosatis.com. Rosati's, where Chicago deep dish pizza meets Temecula charm.
by challenging you to refuse to become a victim of life's circumstance and dare to become an overcomer, because a bigger, better, and more impactful life awaits you. Get the new audio version of his book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, by Dr. James Cooley, on Amazon or wherever books are sold.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. It's the James Cooley Show. It's your life.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I tell you, I am thoroughly enjoying this conversation with my absolutely magnificent guest, Corinne Cavanaugh. And I tell you, we just, we haven't even turned over any stones yet, because I'm excited about the trailer. I'm excited about what she's been talking about in the book. I want to learn more about this $70 million mansion and the lady that was going to leave it to a stranger. But you have to buy the book. You got to buy the book. And we might ask a couple more questions to leave you hanging a little bit, but you got to get out of here.
Thanks.
Yeah. Hey, Tom,
Thanks, James.
This is the time at the beginning of the third segment. What are your thoughts, my friend?
Well, it's a great show so far. Karin is very knowledgeable and it's very interesting guest. I actually went on Amazon. I ordered the book. I'm gonna give it to my mom.
Thank you. Thank you.
And you can even go on that Amazon. I could see you could already click to pre-order the 2 other books. So yeah, great guest. And I think it's interesting. I think, James, you're about to talk about it a little bit. I was interested in the location of this book of An Audacious Woman in Manhattan. Why did she choose Manhattan? And did she do research? Did you go to Manhattan, Corinne?
Yeah. I've been to Manhattan multiple times throughout my life, and I didn't go for researching this book specifically, but there's a lot you can do online for research now. And so that's what I did. I actually modeled it on a real house. The Beaufort Estate is modeled on a real mansion, a row mansion that exists in Manhattan today. And it's such an incredible space because, New York City has an energy, right? When you go there, you can kind of feel it. And I wanted to convey that and sort of that, in her audacity and tenacity, this woman, Eleanor, and the contestants are really hammering it out for this to win the mansion. And so it kind of carries its own energy having it there. And frankly, most people, if they get a chance to, they have visited New York and Manhattan, and so they can maybe visualize it a little bit easier.
Well, I know what it's like because I'm from New York, so I know the energy, and you picked the perfect setting, Corinne, the perfect setting.
Oh, thanks. Sometimes people ask me, well, did you go there and walk the streets, and how did you know? Because you'll notice, the characters are walking and going to things, and it's pretty accurate. And so I went online and I got the subway times, and I got the street timing. You turn this corner and there's the library. So it's very accurate. And I think that's important because it brings people out of the story if you're not accurate, if they've been there.
Oh, most definitely. So, the book trailers, as a marketing expert, what have you seen as far as, let's say you're a new writer and you self-publish, right? You don't have that much funds. How would someone go about doing a book trailer with limited funds and to make it, inviting to the audience that they are targeting to be a reader of their book?
Yeah, that's an excellent question, and I'm happy to tell you all of my secrets. So I will back this up by saying I have used the expensive software in my past career in making really great videos, often nonprofit videos, that sort of thing, that are compelling and can go to the big screen. But today we have a chance because there are so many great lightweight pieces of software that are super affordable out there. And for this, I used one of them. I used Clipchamp, is a Microsoft product, and they have a whole bunch of stock footage that you can just snag and use on their paid version, and it's pretty affordable. So I would encourage any writer who has a book and or is thinking of publishing a book to give it a shot, even if it's just a 30 seconds you put together so you can share it on social. Why not? I think it really gives people that insight before they buy, and it kind of compels them to buy, makes them feel like they're already part of the story even before they open it up. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like when you go on, let's say YouTube, you see those little short stories, like those YouTube series,
Yes.
and then like a trailer, and it's just so interesting. So, as a marketing person, for your book, for Audacious Woman, did you have the choice to maybe, let's say, hire actors and just film and to, different scenes? I'm sure there's different ways to do a book trailer, like you just explained. There's software, or there could be, you hiring actors, whether they're friends or family, to do this. Can you kind of go into that?
Yeah, there are many different ways to do a book trailer. One of the traditional ways is if you have a publisher, if you're able to nail down a publisher, they will actually have resources to help make you a book trailer. You might have to supplement it, the cost. So that's one avenue, right? And I would say that's the best avenue. If you've got those connections, go for it. Now, if you're self-published and you're wanting to do something, you could reach out to an agency that does regular movie trailers and work out something with them to do something for you. Or if you're self-published like me and own your own publishing company, you can go ahead and create it yourself. I think one of the things that's so great about just the nature of media these days is it's so fluid, right? Happens so quickly, where it's Facebook Reels and it's Instagram this and it's TikTok that. You can just put something together yourself, and you can choose to reach out and have clips filmed for you. And so you can kind of select the actors and have them filmed, or you can just go from stock footage. And believe it or not, it took a lot of searching, but my whole trailer was stock footage. So you can find it, you can do it. It does take a lot of time, but you can get it done.
Are there certain genres that benefit mostly from book trailers, as opposed to others? Like, for instance, I love this book trailer for your book, An Audacious Woman. You got so many genres. You got romance, you got mystery, you got thrillers, horror. And that's part 1A of my question. Are there certain genres? Part 1A, part 1B is, do you also have to redo your research and see which social media platforms are more applicable to the target audience you're trying to reach based on your book trailer?
Possibly. I would say all social media platforms, if you can do it, even TikTok and doing book talk. It's all, you never know who your readers are going to be. But I would say to your first question, the genres, I have noticed the majority of book trailers are for serious dramas or horror, something scary, murder, mystery, those sort of things where you can kind of leave people hanging and add the music. And it's very enticing because it just grabs people and you don't have to give them too much. So your trailer doesn't even have to be very long. But what I would recommend is, if your book has any world building whatsoever, so you're trying to really paint the scene of where they are and it's really important to the story, you should do a trailer so that what you're thinking matches what people are thinking when they're picking up your book and considering it. And one of the things I'm seeing now, which I'm going to do with the next book, what I didn't do with my first, is putting a little QR on the back cover that links to the trailer. So you've got the people who are looking at the back, reading the back to decide if they're going to buy it or not. And they can actually see the little video trailer. So I'm going to do that next time. Just, I would recommend doing it. Why not?
Wow. We're getting ready to come into break, and Dr. Cooley's going to take us to our break. But hey, audience, you want to be part of the conversation? Please call into the studio at 1-888-344-1170, 1-888-344-1170, or whatever social media platform you're looking at the show. Please comment or ask questions to Corinne Cavanaugh, An Audacious Woman.
Wow. This is extremely exciting, and I can't wait to read the book. And one of the things, Kareem, that you might want to put in the comments is where they can get your book. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more in this next segment. So just like what Michelle said, if you want to be part of the conversation, not too late. 1-888-344-1170 is your life. And we'll see you shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
A Black Man's Point of View is the newest Amazon.com #1 release and bestseller book from author Dr. James J.C. Cooley, featuring the perspective from 11 other contributing authors. In A Black Man's Point of View, Dr. James Cooley unpacks his thoughts and personal experiences about the challenges, stereotypes, and feelings of self-worth that many Black men face today due to a 400-year ancestry rooted in slavery and colonization. Yet, how so many Black men move forward despite this history. Most importantly, A Black Man's Point of View conveys that all men, regardless of race, creed, or color, are capable of love, respect, and dignity. Described as a map to a greater life from the heart of a man who's experienced life's misfortune and harsh conditions, James shows us how beliefs, convictions, and a healthy mentality can help propel a life worth living. A must-read for all. Order your copy of A Black Man's Point of View by author Dr. James J.C. Cooley today from Amazon.com or wherever books are sold.
Hello, I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley from the United States of America, and I am here to just say, first of all, I'm so happy and honored to be on it, to be in the Coffee Book 2023, Unified Brain Z and the other organizations. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this collection. Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I tell you, I am thoroughly enjoying this interview. And
thanks, James.
And Kareem, we have to push that book out there because I feel very positive about what you're writing about and what you're trying to convey, based on my limited understanding of it. But it's, to me, I just feel it. And can you tell our viewers and our listeners where they can get your book, how they can purchase your book, how they can focus on understanding your book?
Oh, thanks. Yeah. It's more information is available at audaciousbook.com, but you can purchase it on Amazon, in a couple bookstores here in Washington State, and on Audible and iTunes. There is an audiobook version, which uh, that was something to record that, I got to tell you. It was mind-racking, but it turned out great. And so I hope people enjoy it.
Now, hold on. I'm curious about that one because my publishers and my producers asked me to do an audiobook. I said, no problem. Get somebody else. I mean, yeah, let's do it. They said, we want you to do it.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, at least you have a show and you've got a voice, a voice for radio, you've got a great voice. For me, I thought, okay, well, let's do it. And I think I'm the best person to do it because I know the material inside and out. But oh my goodness, it gives me a newfound respect for people who do that for a living, and people like you who are doing this show all of the time. Oh my goodness, it's, you don't want to get a word wrong.
Your audiobook.
Sorry?
So you did it in your own voice, right?
I did it. One of the things that's really compelling, I think, about the audiobook is at the end of the book, there's a whole bunch of conversation starters. And the idea is I want people to take these meaty topics that people don't normally talk about and actually talk about them at their book club. And so I did conversation starters. And so at the end of the audio version, I go through and narrate what I was thinking with these questions and kind of give you some of my personal opinion, which is very intentionally not interjected in the book, right? You just see characters' opinions. And so at the end, you kind of get some more of my thoughts from the author.
Okay, I'm going to turn it back over to Michelle, but I can tell you that I was in the studio of thinking that it was going to be a month or 2 month process. It took me 6 months. 6 months because my producer, every time I made a mistake, he made me start over.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was frustrated. I'd say, I'm just going to fire this guy. But I'm kind of glad I didn't.
Well, the quality standards are so high on iTunes and Audible and all of them that you really have to have it very dialed in. And then there's no mistakes. You just do retakes, and that takes forever.
I'm going to turn it back over to Dr. Cooley, and we got about 5 minutes left in the show.
Thank you, James. Corinne, when you're talking about your book, Audacious Woman, instantly I'm thinking of, looking at the trail, I'm thinking of Agatha Christie, like Who Done It, or just, the Miss Marple series.
Yeah.
Who is your favorite author? And the genre that you're writing now with your Audacious series, what author pops up in your mind when you're writing this?
Okay. So I think the Audacious series is a marriage between Bridgerton and Sex and the City. That's what I would say. That's kind of what it is. And it's modern day, so you're getting all the glitz and the glamour, all of the interpersonal relationship stuff, all the stuff I love from Candace Bushnell, who wrote Sex and the City. And then, Bridgerton. Everybody loves Bridgerton. So that's what it is. But who inspires me? There are two people. And I got to tell you, I went online to masterclass.com. No, I'm not sponsored by them, but I went on there and I listened and watched and studied every single episode by Margaret Atwood and James Patterson. I love James Patterson. He's such a great mystery writer, and he's a businessman for writing. I mean, he turns out like 6 to 8 books a year.
Wow.
This guy has a formula. And one of the things he said in his masterclass series was the outline is so important. So now I live and breathe by the outline, because you just go through and you do every scene in order, just a sentence or two about what you want to write. So when you go to the page, you don't have any writer's block. You sit down, you go, I know what I want to write, and you just write it. So that was really great. And I love Margaret Atwood because her characters are so complex and the world is so detailed, and you really get into the drama. So those are two of my sort of all-time favorite authors, but really, who can choose? I mean, there's so many good books, especially fiction books these days, and book clubs and all this. So I just love reading.
How do you handle controversial topics in your writing, and how do you make them fun or lightweight? What's your process in doing that?
Well, before even writing, I knew the conversations I wanted the characters to have that were dicey conversations. And before even writing, I sort of did some research, historical research. And honestly, I used AI too. We can talk about that if you want to. For the research, it's really handy, especially for historical. And so I went through and I got all the information I wanted to present. And then I put it in the setting of at the dinner table most of the time. for that, topic I was just talking with JC about, which is I want people to be able to sit at dinner and have a pleasant, very cordial conversation about things that might make them uncomfortable. So I was trying to demonstrate what that looks like. And in that setting, in the scenes, in the writing, you just kind of get right into it. Characters just put their opinion out there. And then, you've got the rebuttal from the other character, and it creates this tension and this dynamic. And I think that's, as a reader, it's super fascinating to watch other people navigate that thing that you've been scared to talk about in public.
I feel like when you create a character in a book, especially a book series, like you mentioned, James Patterson, he's one of my favorite authors, the Alex Cross character, you care about that person, you root for that person, and it's like you know that person through reading the series of books. So you're saying it's important for that character to connect on a deeper level with your readers. Is that correct?
Yes, to have vulnerability, just like, some of your best friendships and real relationships are with people who are vulnerable with you. And I think it's important for the characters to be vulnerable too, and sort of connecting with each other. And you're sort of watching them go behind each other's backs and do this and that. It's so fun that you brought up the Alex Cross series, because I love cats. Let's just put it out there. I am a cat lady. I also have kids. But
well, we out of time.
Oh, well, there's a cat in the book, and so everybody.
But you know what? I love that comment that you just made, and that's going to be of extreme importance in the next 50 days. And I tell you what, I want to thank you for taking the time to come on the show. I'd like to thank your PR people. Thank you so much. And absolutely fantastic guest here. I'd like to thank Dr. Michelle Cooley for putting together another fantastic book. I'd like to thank Todd, my KCBQ San Diego studios. Most importantly, I'd like to thank our viewers and listeners. Always dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. We'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same place. Is your life. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, James and Michelle.
Thank you.